Bang, bang, I hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, my baby shot me down.
The Second Amendment exists to protect America from tyranny.
In fact, more Americans have been killed by gunfire in the last 45 years than in all the country's wars combined.
I was shot pretty early on. I could only see the flashing and hear the booming of the shotgun.
Every day on the news, a teenager has been shot, and it makes you wonder, do people really even care?
A person with a modern-style weapon can now wreak the kind of havoc that a platoon of soldiers used to achieve.
The history of the American gun is as complex as the history of the American people. And in the aftermath of mass shootings in places like Newtown and Aurora, Tucson and Columbine, the question of how America came to be a country that often seems to live and die by the gun has taken on a new urgency.
Many gun owners, myself included, want a common sense gun law.
This is not an ordinary piece of property. Its lethality must be respected.
The gun isn't the catalyst. The violence is the catalyst.
I, like most Americans, believe that the Second Amendment guarantees an individual the right to bear arms. But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals. That they belong on the battlefield of war, not on the streets of our cities.
As recently as 2000, U.S. civilians do use guns to protect themselves and others from crime at least 990,000 times a year. All stricter laws to ban guns will not solve any of these problems. We already have many laws in place, but instead of creating new and harsher laws, we need to do a better job of enforcing the gun laws that we currently have.
What if
when Adam Lanza started shooting his way into Sandy Hook Elementary School last Friday, he'd been confronted by qualified armed
When freedom
security.
shivers in the cold shadow of true peril, it's always the patriots who first hear the call. So as we set out this year to defeat the divisive forces that would take freedom away, I want to say those fighting words from my cold, dead hands.
You know, I couldn't get over how familiar they felt to me. Because what I realized was Haidea's family was just like my family. Haidea Pendleton was me, and I was her. But I got to grow up. I want to urge you to come together and do something worthy of Haidea Pendleton's memory and the worthy of our children's future.
You know, there are two kinds of animals in this world, predators and prey. No one watches a leopard chase down a gazelle and denies that the gazelle has a right to use its hooves and horns to protect itself from the predator. But there are people in this room tonight and all across the country who would deny that same right to self-defense to other human beings. Such people seem to think that the way to stop the leopard is to cut the horns off of the gazelle, that by somehow making it easier for the predator will simply go away. My friends, this is insane. When you make it easier for the predator, you get more predators.